Okay, this will be for the con assignment, horizontal and vertical lines. So just a few notes for these. Okay, for the horizontal line, here is the graph, okay? And a horizontal line, it goes from left to right, okay? And of course, this is the x-axis, and this is the y-axis. So the horizontal line passes through the y-axis. Whatever point it passes through, that is the equation of that line, whatever number that is. So a horizontal line is just going to be y equals some number. Okay, that number is a constant. There's not going to be a variable in it. All right, and y does not change. It is fixed. Okay, remember the slope formula is change in y over change in x. Okay, since y equals some number, like let's say in this case, this is, let's say it's y equals 4. Since y equals some number, y does not change. Okay, so the change in y is going to be 0. All right, it's just 0 over some number. Okay, as long as the denominator is not 0, which it is not in this case, the slope is just going to be 0. Okay, so for the horizontal line, the slope equals 0. And the equation is just y equals some number. Okay, now for the vertical line, again, we have our x and y axes. Okay, the vertical line is straight up and down. Like so. Okay, and it crosses, the vertical line crosses the x-axis at some point. Whatever that point is the equation of the line. It's going to be x equals some number. Okay, and the slope for the vertical line, again, we recall slope is change in y over change in x, right? But x equals some number. It's fixed. X does not change. So change in y, it's going to be some number divided by 0, because the change in x is 0. X is some number. It does not change. And we cannot divide by 0. So in this case, the slope is undefined. Okay. So for the vertical line, the equation is x equals some number. All right, and the slope is undefined. So in case you forget which is which for the slope, just remember, if the equation is x equals some number, the change in x is 0, and you can't divide by 0, so that's undefined. All right, and same with this one. The horizontal, it's going to be y equals some number. The change in y is just 0. So 0 over something is 0. That's how you remember these two. Might want to jot that down for this assignment. Okay, so the problems are relatively easy. Here we have a graph, this line in blue. All right, what is the equation of the line? So this is the y-axis, okay? And this point here is where it hits the y-axis. This is y equals 4. Okay, see, this is the y-axis, and this point here is y equals 4. So this whole line right here is just y equals 4. That's your answer. All right, so go to the box. Y equals 4. Okay, what is the slope of the line y equals 1? Well, since y equals 1, We know slope is change in y over change in x, right? Since y equals 1, y does not change. So the change in y is just 0. And the change in x is some number. 0 over some number is just 0. Okay, as long as there's not a 0 in the denominator. So that's answer B. Another way to do this, y equals 1, if you want, you can just graph it. Okay? This is the y-axis right here. So y equals 1 would be approximately right there. And that's a horizontal line. And we said before, the horizontal line, the slope is 0. So same thing. Okay, here they want us to graph y equals 0. So go to your y-axis right here and go to 0. That's right here. So this entire thing right here, let me see here. This is the y-axis. This is y equals 0. So this entire thing right here is y equals 0. All right, so we want to take these points, left click, hold it down, and just drag it into place. Same with the other dot. Left click, hold it down, and drag it into place right there. Okay, what is the equation of the horizontal line through this point? Let's see. If we had a graph with x and y axes, okay, a horizontal line would go from left to right. A horizontal line would be like this, okay? So since it crosses the y-axis, this point here would be the equation. It would be y equals some number, okay? But it says it passes through this point. This is the x and this is the y. So it has to be y equals 6. Okay, I got it wrong because I didn't type y equals. I only typed 6. So I'm sorry, you have to type y equals 6, not just the number. Okay, so just be careful. If you just put 6, if you just put the number, they won't take it. Okay, graph x equals -5. All right, this is the x-axis right here. If we go to x equals -5, that's this point right here. So the graph goes through that right there, x equals -5. All right, so take the dots on the green line and drag it over to x equals -5. Okay, here they're asking what is the slope of the line. All right, so the line, this is the y-axis. The line goes through y equals -6. All right, so slope is change in y over change in x. But y does not change. Y equals -6. So the change in y is just 0. Okay, 0 over some number is just 0. Answer B. All right, last one. What is the equation of the line? Here's the x-axis. It goes right through x equals -9. So type x equals -9.